Lil Jon is dealing with a scary situation right now, TMZ said. His son, DJ Young Slade, has been reported missing in Georgia.
Lil Jon's son walked out of his house one morning with no phone, no shoes, and hasn't been seen since. But what's really sending chills through everyone right now is the shocking footage that just went viral. This video, allegedly posted by Lil Jon's rivals, might be more than just a clip. It could be a chilling message aimed straight at his father. The disappearance has turned into every parent's worst nightmare. Early on February 3rd, 2026, around 6 a.m., a 27-year-old man stepped out of Milton, Georgia home, a quiet, upscale neighborhood about 30 miles north of downtown Atlanta, without his phone or any personal items. Authorities later said he may have seemed disoriented before leaving. He didn't take a car, he didn't leave a note. He just walked out the front door, headed toward the intersection of Baldwin Drive and Mayfield Road, and vanished into the dark morning air. His name is Nathan Murray Smith, but the world knows him as DJ Young Slade, the son of Jonathan Smith, better known to fans as Lil Jon, the Grammy-winning, multi-platinum producer, rapper, and cultural icon who helped shape modern hip-hop. Within just hours, the Milton Police Department officially listed Nathan as missing, sharing his photo and description across social media and law enforcement networks across the region. The whole community is holding its breath as everyone searches for answers. The alert revealed one crucial detail that made this case far from a typical missing person situation. Authorities shared that the 27-year-old might have been confused and possibly in need of help.
Lil Jon is dealing with a scary situation right now, TMZ said. His son, DJ Young Slade, has been reported missing in Georgia. The same thing, the Milton Police Department put out a missing persons alert Tuesday saying 28-year-old Slade, legal name Nathan Murray Smith, ran out of his home on foot and hasn't been seen since. And he doesn't have a phone, he may be disoriented, and he could be in need of help.
He didn't have his phone, so there was no way for him to reach out or for anyone to reach him. No wallet, no ID, no way to communicate at all. It was like he vanished without a trace. Officials made it clear that there was no danger to the public, but they urged anyone who might spot him to immediately contact law enforcement for a welfare check, never to approach him directly. The first major local station to break the story was Fox 5 Atlanta, reporting that Nathan was last seen near Baldwin Drive in Milton. Soon after, USB-TV joined in with on-air coverage, showing his photo and sharing deep concern for his safety. Within just one day, the situation went national. NBC News released a full report outlining what happened that morning. People magazine shared the family's message, asking for privacy and prayers, and even included a touching photo of Lil Jon with his son from 2016, showing how close the two once were. USA Today reported that family representatives described this as an unimaginably difficult time and again asked for thoughts and compassion as the search continued. Meanwhile, BET highlighted the emotional weight this had placed on the family and law enforcement's worries about Nathan's state when he disappeared. The Hollywood Reporter later added that Lil Jon had been separated from Nathan's mother, Nicole Smith.
Praying for not just Lil Jon missing person, but
all of them
missing people, because I know that he's a celebrity and they get, a bigger publicity and all that, but prayers for everybody that's looking for a missing person.
Giving more insight into the family's private life during this heartbreaking moment, adding even more tension to an already emotional situation, the news instantly sparked a huge wave of reactions across social media and YouTube commentary channels. On Boss Talk TV, the host broke the story to their audience with visible emotion, while the co-host, Reality TV, shared the early details being reported across Georgia news outlets. It was clear people everywhere were shaken by what they were hearing. The hosts of Boss Talk TV didn't waste a second urging their viewers to help spread awareness. They read directly from official reports, confirming the verified facts surrounding Nathan's disappearance. Then the host mentioned TMZ's coverage, which had taken the story nationwide, pushing it into trending territory within hours. During that same broadcast, a particularly tense update dropped. Local outlet Rough Draft Atlanta reported that there was active police activity happening in Mayfield Park, not far from where Nathan was last seen. Viewers were glued to their screens, hoping for any sign of a breakthrough. But to truly understand the weight of this disappearance, you gotta know who Nathan Murray Smith really is, not just as Lil Jon's son, but as a person carving his own path in the music world. Born in 1998, Nathan was surrounded by rhythm from the very start. Lil Jon once shared that Nathan would kick to the beat during studio sessions while his mother was still pregnant, a sign that music was already in his blood. Nathan actually lent his voice to Lil Jon and the East Side Boys' 2001 hit Bia Bia when he was just a toddler, a wild detail that feels almost unreal when you look at how far it's come since then.
I think that's just a scary situation when you sitting there trying to figure, you don't know. He didn't take his phone. He might have had on shoes, might have didn't have on shoes. He don't have no personal items. That's the weirdest thing right there, because now you got me worried. Now I'm worried about you because I don't know what the hell going on. What happened to my damn son is what I'm asking at that point. So, I mean, I just pray for Lil Jon, and I pray for the mother of the boy too, because she going through it. It ain't just Lil Jon because he got a name. It's family, brothers and sisters. Everybody is on high alert when somebody missing.
By high school, he was already producing beats, training at the Scratch DJ Academy, and later attending NYU to refine his skills. He built his career the old school way, step by step, working as a DJ, producer, engineer, and eventually evolving into a respected artist of his own, known professionally as DJ Young Slade. His recent career was showing serious promise. In 2024, he teamed up with Lil Jon for Lil Jon's unique guided meditation meets hip-hop album titled Total Meditation. The project surprised everyone. It blended beats with calm energy in a way no one expected. Around that same time, he and Lil Jon were producing tracks for Too Short's anticipated farewell album, proving that he was stepping into the big leagues. Then came his own single, Feuds, released in March 2025, a smooth, emotional track that he pushed hard on his Instagram, where fans flooded the comments with support. He also appeared on MTV's Family Legacy, where he opened up about the life-changing moment of watching his dad perform a DJ set that inspired him to follow the same path. By 2025, he was performing at major festivals like One Music Fest in Atlanta, collaborating with artists such as Jim Jones, and staying deeply connected to the Atlanta music scene. He was a young man building something real, creating, recording, and mixing his own tracks completely on his own. On Boss Talk TV, the emotional tone was heavy, and you could feel it through the screen. The host spoke from the heart about what it must feel like for any parent to get this news. It hit hard.
Yeah, it seems that maybe he was, I'm not gonna say, I don't know if he was under the influence of a drug or whatever, but he ran out of the house barefoot with no phone or nothing.
What made everything even chillier was that earlier in that same episode, before the breaking news hit, DJ Young Slade himself had appeared in a pre-recorded interview talking about his life growing up as Lil Jon's son. In that clip, Nathan described his dad as simply Dad, the man who drinks tea and chills at home watching movies. Seeing that moment replayed next to a missing persons alert released just hours later by the Milton Police Department was a shock that left viewers stunned. It was a heartbreaking contrast that reminded everyone this wasn't just another entertainment headline. It was a real family going through something deeply painful. As of February 5th, 2026, there have been no official updates confirming that Nathan Murray Smith has been found. Search efforts have continued around nearby areas, including Mayfield Lake, as authorities and volunteers work tirelessly to locate him.
Lil Jon has remained silent publicly, honoring the family's request for prayers and privacy during this incredibly difficult time. And the host of Boss Talk TV summed up that silence perfectly, saying it captured the pain words simply can't express. The host spoke with raw emotion, capturing the deep fear that any parent would feel in a moment like this. The unbearable thought of knowing your child might be out there, unreachable, and there's nothing you can do to bring them home. The conversation turned toward the frustration of facing constant questions from people desperate for answers when you don't have any yourself. Reality TV, the co-host, added an important reminder. that the prayers and compassion shouldn't just be for one famous family, but for anyone going through this kind of pain. Then came the shift. Old rivalries, long memories, and wounds that never fully healed. The title of this video mentioned Lil Jon's Opps, a term used in hip-hop culture to describe rivals or opponents. And to understand why that word even comes up in this story, it's important to look at Lil Jon's history in the industry, where strong personalities and musical competition often collide. But let's be clear, there's absolutely no evidence connecting any of those rivalries to Nathan's disappearance. Extensive checks through major news outlets, verified social media reports, and hip-hop media coverage revealed no signs of disputes, rivalries, or incidents involving DJ Young Slade personally. Authorities continue to treat this as a welfare and well-being matter, not as a criminal investigation. The focus remains on finding Nathan safely. Still, what's truly haunting people online is the resurfaced clip of Nathan speaking about his father with warmth and pride, now being shared right next to the missing person updates. Seeing that old interview paired with these alerts hits differently. When you realize that Lil Jon has spent decades navigating a music industry where rivalries can linger for generations, the story takes on a whole new meaning. Jonathan Smith, better known as Lil Jon, rose from Atlanta's late 1990s and early 2000s crunk movement as one of its loudest and most powerful voices. As the frontman of Lil Jon and the East Side Boys, he produced and performed anthems that defined a generation of Southern hip-hop. Tracks like Get Low, Bia Bia, and Throw It Up turned club energy into a full-blown cultural wave. His signature ad-libs, yeah, okay, what, became pop culture staples, even parodied by Dave Chappelle and recognized around the world. Lil Jon later teamed up with DJ Snake for Turn Down for What, a global hit that won awards and broke genre barriers. Over the years, he's moved easily between EDM, rap, and even country collaborations, proof of his lasting influence and adaptability in a tough business. But success like that doesn't come without tension, especially in Atlanta's fiercely competitive rap scene. One of the most talked about disputes in Lil Jon's career involved Pastor Troy, real name Micah LeVar Troy, a respected Atlanta rapper known for his raw, independent Southern sound. The two actually worked together on Throw It Up, a track from Lil Jon and the East Side Boys' 2002 album Kings of Crunk. That song became a breakthrough moment for Pastor Troy, giving him major national attention and solidifying his place in the Southern hip-hop legacy. But over time, the aftermath of that collaboration led to lingering tension between the two artists. Pastor Troy later spoke about his frustration in several interviews, including a 2021 Vlad TV segment, explaining how the partnership didn't unfold the way he expected. No official music video was ever filmed for Throw It Up, and Pastor Troy later blamed that decision on label complications. After that, the two artists never worked together again. Pastor Troy said he felt left out of Lil Jon's growing movement, not invited for future collaborations, and not given the continued spotlight that the song's success seemed to promise. He also claimed that Lil Jon once reached out for another verse, but that their interaction didn't lead to mutual respect or new projects. In a 2022 Revolt TV interview, Troy looked back on those years, expressing his disappointment with how everything unfolded. Within Atlanta's intense crunk scene, where egos, labels, and loyalty often collided, that frustration eventually spilled into the open. In 2006, Pastor Troy released a track on his album By Choice or By Force, a direct diss song aimed at Lil Jon, his BME label, and associated acts like Lil Scrappy and Crime Mob. The lyrics were fiery and confrontational, calling names and airing long-held grievances that had built up over years in the Southern rap world. The song became Pastor Troy's main outlet for his anger, giving him a way to express the resentment he felt after being left out of what he saw as the crunk empire he helped create. The track spread quickly through Atlanta's underground scene and among hardcore Southern hip-hop fans, sparking debate across radio shows and message boards. But despite the noise, Lil Jon stayed completely silent. He didn't respond publicly, didn't release a counter track, Nothing. That silence spoke volumes, showing that Lil Jon preferred to keep building his success rather than reignite drama. Still, that wasn't the only tension in his circle. Lil Jon's relationship with the Yin Yang Twins, the two behind massive crunk hits like Get Low and Salt Shaker, also became strained over questions of creative credit, control, and business disagreements. The Yin Yang Twins later revealed in podcasts and interviews that at first, Lil Jon wasn't fully on board with Get Low and pushed back on certain creative ideas. But when the song exploded into a global hit, they claimed it brought in major success and earnings, yet they felt their contributions weren't fully recognized or rewarded. It wasn't full-on hostility, but more of a professional rift, one that showed how creative partnerships in music can get complicated fast. The tension was very real, and it popped up in several interviews over the years. Not long after that, Lil Jon and the East Side Boys officially split after their 2004 album Crunk Juice, reportedly due to financial disputes, legal complications, and intergroup disagreements. The breakup paved the way for Lil Jon to go solo, continuing his rise, while the East Side Boys slowly stepped out of the spotlight. Though it was a business decision, the separation left behind some lingering tension between the former collaborators. Meanwhile, the Franchise Boys accused Lil Jon of borrowing heavily from their signature sound during the transition from crunk to snap music, creating another layer of competitive friction inside Atlanta's hip-hop scene. Around that same time, smaller disagreements also surrounded Lil Scrappy, who was signed under Lil Jon's BME label. Reports suggested that outside pressures from 50 Cent's circle may have complicated his position, eventually leading him to leave the label before any of the issues were publicly resolved. Through it all, Lil Jon stayed remarkably composed. He never fueled the drama, didn't respond with diss songs, and rarely spoke about conflicts in public. Instead, he focused on his legacy, continuing to shape Southern hip-hop as a producer, collaborator, and mentor. In recent years, especially between 2024 and 2025, he's been open about his personal growth, talking about focusing on his mental and physical health, finding balance, and redefining what success means beyond fame. Lil Jon has been open about his past lifestyle, the non-stop parties, the heavy drinking, and the wild energy that came with being the face of the crunk movement. But he revealed that after some serious health scares involving his liver around age 50, he made a complete change. He cut back, shifted his habits, and turned his focus toward healing and discipline. He began EMDR therapy, started meditating daily, and committed to a strict fitness routine that transformed both his body and mindset. By 2025, he even stepped on stage at the Muscle Beach Championship, proving just how serious he was about his transformation. He credited this change to wanting to be fully present and healthy for his family, especially for his young daughter born in 2024 and his oldest son, Nathan. Lil Jon said he had spent years suffering in silence, struggling privately while appearing larger than life in public. Once he realized how common that experience was, especially among men who feel pressure to hold everything in, he became a passionate advocate for mental health, self-care, and wellness. He began encouraging his followers to seek peace and healing, not just success or fame. That personal evolution makes what's happening now even more heartbreaking. Here's a man who spent the past 2 years rebuilding his world around love, balance, and family, only to face the devastating reality of his 27-year-old son disappearing without explanation. His past marriage to Nicole Smith, Nathan's mother, ended in separation, which added emotional complexity to the family story. But by every public account, Lil Jon and Nathan stayed close. They worked on music together, appeared side by side on TV shows, and always showed mutual love and respect. Nathan even described his dad as the tea-drinking, movie-watching dad behind the wild stage persona, a sweet glimpse into their bond. The pain of trying to stay strong when your child is missing is something no parent should ever have to face. Nathan, though talented and respected in his own lane, lived a much quieter life compared to his father's global fame. As a DJ and producer, he kept things professional, No feuds, no public disputes, no drama. His Instagram before he went missing was filled with upbeat posts, family photos, studio clips, and updates about new music he was proud to share. Everything about it reflected positivity and focus. But anyone who knows hip-hop history understands this painful truth. When you carry a legendary name, the spotlight follows you, and sometimes so do your father's old rivalries, even if you had nothing to do with them. It's an unfair weight that second-generation artists often have to carry in silence. And that's what makes this chapter of the story so emotional. It's hard to even process how eerie that footage of Nathan speaking about his father feels now. In those clips, he's relaxed, proud, and reflective. But in the context of his disappearance, they hit differently. Viewers describe the video as unsettling, not because of what he said, but because of what it now represents, a moment frozen in time before everything changed. Across decades, hip-hop has seen situations where the children of major artists get caught in the middle of legacies and tensions they never chose. But in this case, it's important to remember that Nathan Murray Smith had no known enemies, no public disputes, and no rivalries at all. According to every official report, his disappearance is being treated strictly as a welfare and mental health matter, not a criminal case. The fact that Nathan's name began trending alongside the word Opps and that a simple, heartfelt video of him talking about his father is now being labeled as chilling says a lot about how today's culture reacts to any story involving a hip-hop artist's family. We've been conditioned to brace for the worst whenever a hip-hop artist's child ends up in the headlines. Sadly, that reaction exists because time and time again, the music world has seen public conflicts spiral far beyond the music itself. A major example came in 2025, when tensions between Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, a rivalry that had been simmering since 2017, erupted once again. Both superstars, each with massive fan bases, took their feud beyond the usual music competition, with conversations online turning uncomfortably personal as family members were mentioned. Nicki Minaj, real name Onika Tanya Mirage Petty, the Trinidadian American icon behind Pink Friday and countless hits, has long been one of the most powerful women in rap. In 2025, social media posts from both sides sparked backlash after personal remarks were exchanged, including comments about each other's parenting and families. The online reaction was explosive. Fans clashed, interviews reignited old drama, and countless outlets covered the situation in real time. On the other hand, Cardi B, real name Belcalis Almanzar, the Bronx-born rapper who rose to superstardom with Boat Out Yellow, didn't stay silent either. She fired back on her own platforms, defending her family and throwing her own verbal jabs at Nicki's camp. The tension between the two quickly turned into one of the most intense public rivalries in recent hip-hop history. These incidents showed how fast social media can turn disagreements between artists into all-out chaos and how, sadly, their loved ones sometimes get caught in the crossfire. Both women eventually issued what many called half apologies. Nicki Minaj even addressed culture directly, but the conflict still raged on. The public quickly condemned how personal things had gotten, with fans and commentators across the internet agreeing that family should never be pulled into artistic rivalries. The backlash became a wake-up call for the entire industry about where the line should be drawn. Then came one of the most shocking lyrical rivalries in recent hip-hop history, the Drake versus Kendrick Lamar feud of 2024. This wasn't your average back and forth. It was one of the most calculated and emotionally charged battles the genre had ever seen. In Drake's track, Family Matters, he allegedly implied that one of Kendrick Lamar's children might have been fathered by his longtime creative partner, Dave Free, stirring up controversy around Kendrick's personal life and his relationship with fiancée Whitney Alfred. The song also made damaging claims about problems in their household, claims that were never verified but spread rapidly online. Kendrick's response, Meet the Grams, took things to another level. In it, he addressed Drake's family members one by one, including his young son Adonis, and even delivered the line, "I'm sorry, that man is your father." The song went further, suggesting Drake had a secret daughter the public didn't know about, something Drake later denied completely. But by then, the impact was undeniable. The internet was flooded with analysis, reactions, and heated debates. These weren't coded subliminals or clever metaphors. They were direct, personal jabs aimed at family members who had no involvement in the feud. It pushed the boundaries of how far artists could go for the sake of competition, sparking serious discussions about ethics and lyrical warfare. This wasn't the first time children had been dragged into rap beefs, though. The precedent had been set years earlier, in 2018, when Pusha T dropped The Story of Adidon. That song publicly revealed that Drake had a son, Adonis, and accused him of hiding it from the world.
The lyrics in that track urged Adonis to come home, using the existence of a child as part of a music feud, a move that shocked the entire industry. That single song forced Drake to acknowledge his son publicly for the very first time, turning what should have been a private and meaningful family moment into a viral talking point across the world. It became one of the most defining and controversial moments in modern hip-hop history, setting a tone that future rivalries would later echo, including Kendrick Lamar's bold approach years later. But this type of personal targeting didn't start there. Long before these newer feuds, Eminem had drawn one of the earliest boundaries around family involvement in rap battles, only to see multiple rivals cross it anyway. Back in 2003, Ja Rule released his track Loose Change, where he made negative remarks about Eminem's daughter Haley Jade, referencing her father's unpredictable public life. Eminem's retaliation came fast and fierce. Songs like Haley's Revenge and Go to Sleep weren't just lyrical responses, they were emotional outbursts that marked the end of what little peace existed between the two artists. The feud heavily impacted Ja Rule's standing in hip-hop and became one of the genre's most infamous rivalries. Then, in 2012, Machine Gun Kelly, or MGK, sparked his own tension with Eminem after posting a controversial tweet calling Haley attractive, something fans and media immediately criticized as crossing a line. The tension simmered for years until it finally erupted in 2018 with MGK's Rap Devil and Eminem's fiery comeback track Kill Shot. The lyrical exchange lit up the internet, reigniting debates about respect and boundaries in hip-hop. Even earlier, Everlast, frontman of House of Pain, had included an offhand comment about Haley in a remix verse during the early 2000s. Eminem fired back with Quitter, a diss track so sharp that it effectively ended Everlast's influence in the rap world. The pattern was undeniable. Mention Eminem's daughter and your career would likely take a serious hit. But beneath that, a darker truth lingered. The fact that artists kept crossing that line showed that in some corners of the industry, even family members were being treated as fair game in rivalries. It exposed an unsettling side of music culture where competition blurred into something far more personal and dangerous. In the streets, those same patterns have sometimes taken on far more tragic forms. In Jacksonville, Florida, the long-running tension between rap groups connected to ATK and KTA, including names like Youngeen Ace and the late Julio Fulio, grew so heated that it reportedly spilled over into real-life violence, affecting people who had nothing to do with the music itself. What started as lyrical sparring eventually turned into street-level conflict, a reminder that music beefs can sometimes have heartbreaking consequences. Similar stories have emerged in other cities like Stockton, California, where community reports described family events such as children's birthday gatherings being disrupted by disputes tied to ongoing crew rivalries. Innocent people were placed in harm's way simply because of their proximity to artists caught in the crossfire of ongoing feuds. These examples represent the most extreme end of a spectrum that often begins with online tension, social media taunts, and competitive lyrics, but can tragically escalate into real-world danger. It's a chilling reminder of how quickly artistic rivalries can spiral beyond the music when emotions and reputations collide. And that's what makes the footage of Nathan Murray Smith, known as DJ Young Slade, hit so hard. His disappearance isn't connected to any of that. There's no evidence of rivalry, targeting, or wrongdoing of any kind. But because of the history of violence linked to music conflicts, people are viewing his story through that lens. Police have made it clear this case is being treated strictly as a welfare matter, not a criminal one. But people are calling the circulating footage chilling because of the world we live in today. A culture where the children of famous rappers often carry a kind of inherited risk simply because of their name. A simple, heartfelt interview where a young man calls his father just dad suddenly feels haunting when that same young man disappears. Lil Jon's past professional tensions, whether with Pastor Troy, the Yin Yang Twins, or even former East Side Boys members, were never the kind of rivalries that crossed into dangerous territory. Those disagreements played out through words, not violence. They were rooted in music industry politics, issues like money, credit, or creative control, the usual kind of professional clashes that come with the territory in an ultra-competitive scene like Atlanta's. Pastor Troy expressed his frustrations through his song and later in interviews, while Lil Jon chose not to respond publicly. The Yin Yang Twins also voiced disappointment over business differences, but that relationship simply cooled off without any real hostility. These were business disputes, intense, emotional, and very public, but still within the boundaries of professional tension, not personal attacks or real-world danger. What's haunting people now isn't anything Lil Jon did or any rivalry he ever had. It's the history of how hip-hop culture, time and again, has blurred the line between competition and personal lives. From Nicki and Cardi to Drake and Kendrick to Pusha T's explosive story of Adidon, the pattern has made audiences hyper-aware, almost expecting the worst whenever a rapper's family member is mentioned. Because of everything that's happened over the years, every diss, every feud, every time someone mentioned Haley Jade or dragged family into the spotlight, the culture has been conditioned to react a certain way. So when a rapper's child makes headlines for any reason, the public's first instinct is to look for someone to blame, to search for an enemy. But in this case, there isn't one. And that's exactly what the host of Boss Talk TV emphasized during the final moments of the broadcast about Nathan's disappearance, that this situation goes beyond fame, beyond music, beyond all the noise of online speculation. The real story here isn't about beefs or rivalries. It's about a father desperately trying to find his son. It's about Nathan Murray Smith, a young man who walked out of his Georgia home one February morning and hasn't been seen since. And it's about a family asking for compassion, understanding, and privacy while the world watches and comments from afar. This is real life, not a trending topic. A family's heartbreak shouldn't be anyone's entertainment. If you want to help, share verified information only, keep the conversation respectful, and send positive thoughts their way. And if you made it this far, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to keep up with future updates. We'll continue following this story and bringing you verified facts as they come in. Stay kind, stay aware, and never forget, behind every headline, there's a human story.